What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Oak Tree Football Channel, and welcome to another 2020 college football record prediction and schedule breakdown video. Today, I will be doing USC. USC had not been great for the past few years in college football, but last year, early in the season, starting quarterback JT Daniels went down with an injury, and he was replaced by freshman Kedon Slovis. And Slovis came in and he really impressed as a freshman. And USC was actually ranked last year. I believe they went 8-5. They did lose in their bowl game, but they still had a very, very good year. And it was pretty surprising because Kedon Slovis really came out of nowhere. But now they kind of have a situation if they want to have JT Daniels or Kedon Slovis, because they're both pretty good quarterbacks. Personally, I think I would go with Kedon Slovis, and I think that's what they're gonna do. So they have, at the wide receiver position, this is one of the best players on the team, Amon-Ra St. Brown. They are losing Michael Pittman at the wide receiver position, but St. Brown, I think, can still be a good player. So those are some players to look out for USC this season. USC is in the Pac-12, and as the days go by, there looks like there is a less and less chance that the Pac-12 will actually play this season just because of what's going on in the world. But I will predict USC's schedule like normal. But I feel like if any Power 5 conference isn't going to be played this year, I think it will be the Pac-12. But I'm hoping the Pac-12 can stay. I'm hoping all the conferences can stay because I just want to see some college football. But with that being said, let's get into looking to USC's schedule. So they went 8-5 last year, which is good, and a big part of that was Kedon Slovis, like I already said, who was a freshman, and he actually threw, I believe, 30 touchdown passes, which is really, really nice, especially for a freshman. And those are numbers he could improve on, I definitely believe so. They have the 54th best recruiting class rank in the country. That is not good. 54 is just by itself not a good recruiting class rank. And then that you factor in that it's USC, that's not good. Especially USC coming off one of their better seasons. That is not good at all. And that might offer a problem for USC. Maybe not this year, but even going forward, if they can get recruits, that's not good. But now looking at their schedule, week 1, probably, I could say this is the toughest game of the season. It's against Alabama. Now, this game is not on the road, but it's not at home either. It's at a neutral stadium in Texas. So no team really has the home field advantage. Sometimes in, these neutral stadium games, some team is actually pretty close to where it is. An example of that is Notre Dame, Wisconsin. The game is still in Wisconsin. It's at Lambeau Field. That's just not where Wisconsin normally plays. This game, that is not the case. It is at a completely neutral stadium. This is a good game. USC actually could be a really good team this season. They definitely have the talent on the roster. They just have a tough schedule, and Alabama's going to be tough to beat. In week 1, I think it's good that this game was in week 1 rather than, let's say, week 13, because, so Alabama had some players that are leaving for the draft, and they're going to need some new players to step up. Mac Jones, it's his first game of his first probably full season as the starter. So maybe because it's week 1, USC has a chance to win, but I still believe Alabama is the better team. Alabama probably will win this game. I think it'll be a fun game to watch. I think it can be a close game, but I think Alabama's the better team, and I think Alabama will win. Week 2, USC has a lot easier game. It's against New Mexico. New Mexico's not that good of a football team. One of the worst teams. USC should be able to get an easy win, I think, there. I think it's good that after a tough game, they have an easy one. And then in week 3, they have another kind of tough game. I could see that this game being, really close, or I could just see USC pretty much destroying, absolutely, by a huge margin. And the game is against Stanford. I could see, like I just said, I could see USC winning by a huge margin, or I could see this game being very, very close. Stanford is a very interesting team to me. I could see them being good, but also I could see them being pretty bad this year. So I really want to look out for them. This game is at Stanford, which gives them the home field advantage, and it's going to be a really fun game to watch. It's not really thought about to be as one of the better games of the season really, but I think it could actually be a very fun game to watch. I think Stanford is going to be a very interesting team to watch this year, and I think the same about USC. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this game ends up. But I think USC will probably win. I can't really see Stanford winning this game. I mean, the thing about football that I kind of love it for this is that on any given day, any team can win. And that's the saying, like, in the NFL, any given Sunday. I feel like it's the same in college football, except really any given Saturday. Because there's upsets, and I could see Stanford giving an upset in this game. I would not be surprised if that happened. Week 4, Arizona State. Arizona State is a team that I think will be atop the Pac-12. Really, I think it'll be between Arizona State and USC for their division this year. Because they are in the same division, if you did not know. And I think this game will be important for who goes to the Pac-12 championship. These are both teams I expect to be ranked this year. This game is at home for USC, which is really good. Because Arizona State has proved that they can win at home even against tough opponents, such as last year they beat Oregon at home. So they can win at home. On the road, we will see how well they do on the road this year. But I do think USC has the upper hand in this game. I think USC has a better roster. I mean, they're pretty equal rosters, honestly, to me. But I think USC has the upper hand here because they are at home. But that's going to be a really, really fun game to watch. And it will be close. USC has a lot of games that could be close this year. Week 5, they're on the road again. They're at Utah. Utah, I expect a fall off from last year. Utah were actually pretty highly ranked last year until the championship game where they got destroyed by Oregon. They were actually a pretty surprising team last year, but losing a lot of talent, especially Zach Moss. He was a very, very good running back. I don't think it's going to be a good year for Utah. This game might be a bit close because I still think that there will be talent from Utah, but I don't think it'll be close to what they did last year. And I think USC will probably win this game. But it's going to be fun to see. Week 6, this game, so it's against California at home. Most people would expect this to be a pretty easy win for USC. I'm not so sure about that because I think California will be one of the better teams in college football this season. They can surprise a lot of people, I think. I think they're primed to have a big year. They have some good players in the roster, even though they are losing Ashton Davis. They still have a lot of talent on the team. I did not have them in my top 25 ranking prediction, but if I make another one, which I probably will in a few weeks, I think California would be in the top 5, or top 25, sorry. They're actually a good team, and I could definitely see them being good this year, and I could really see them giving a good challenge to USC. I would not be surprised if USC won the game or lost this game. I could also see them winning though. Similar to the Arizona State game, I could see it going either way. I mean, there's some games on the schedule that I think that, like, such as Alabama, I think Alabama will probably win that game. And against New Mexico, I think USC will probably win that game. But California and Arizona State really could go either way, and they're going to be two very fun games to watch. California's going to be a very interesting team to watch this year, and I can't wait to see how they do. I think they can be good, but I could also see them not being a great team. But Week 7, on the road, once again, at Arizona. Arizona is, I don't think, as good as Arizona State. They could be good this season. I think they'll win a few games, probably around bowl eligibility. I would say about probably 5 to 7 wins. I would say for Arizona. I have not done their prediction yet, and it probably will be a while until I do theirs, if I even do a prediction for Arizona. I mean, they could be decent this year. I don't see anything fantastic from them, which is why I think USC will probably win this game. Even though they are on the road, I think they'll probably win. They then have a bye week, and then one of their easiest games of the season against Colorado. Colorado wasn't that good of a team. Now they're losing their head coach. They're losing probably the best player in Laviska Shenault. They're losing their quarterback. He wasn't the best quarterback anyway, but, I mean, he still was their quarterback, and they're losing him. They're losing a lot of talent, and I don't expect a good season from Colorado, probably towards the bottom of the Pac-12. I can't see them being bowl eligible this year. Colorado, like this past year, was really sometimes, like, start of the season, they were actually really, really good, but really fell off later towards the middle of the season and towards the end of the season. They were a very inconsistent team. At times they were good, but at times they weren't. I could see that being the case this season. I could see them actually winning a few games. But I could also see them losing a lot, especially with some tough games on the schedule, such as USC. I can't see them winning that many, and I think this should be a pretty easy game for USC. Week 10 should not be an easy win, though, because they're playing Oregon, and it's at Oregon in Eugene. This is going to be probably a loss, I would say. I said that they could lose to Arizona State and California, but I pretty much think they will lose to Alabama. I think this game is like the Alabama game. It should probably be a loss, and I think it will be a loss. Oregon is just too good of a football team. I think they can make the college football playoff this year if the Pac-12 actually happens. I think Oregon will be a playoff contender. I did the Oregon prediction already. If you haven't checked that out, check it out after this. But Oregon is a team I could see being really good this year. They have a good roster. They are losing Justin Herbert, but they still have Tyler Show on the roster, who I think could be a good quarterback. They have the best offensive lineman in college football in Penei Sewell. They have a lot of talent on that team. Especially this game being on the road for USC, I can't see them winning this game, I'm not going to lie. I think it will be a loss, and I think it will be a pretty big loss. I think this will probably be their biggest loss of the season. Unless Tyler Show does not show out, I think Oregon probably will win the majority of their games this season. And then Week 11, at home once again, playing a tough opponent, Washington. Washington should be competitive this year, but I still believe USC will be better than them. And this game being at home, I think that is a pretty, I think it's safe to say that USC probably will win this game. I could see Washington winning, but I think this is, if you really look at their schedule, this might be considered to be one of their easier games. By no means is it like an automatic win. It's not 100% of that they're just going to win this game. I think it can be close. I think Washington can be a good team this season, but I think it should be a win for USC. Week 12, they're on the road, but they're against UCLA. UCLA hasn't been the best football team recently, and then losing Darnay Holmes to the draft, he was actually a very underrated cornerback. That's not going to help their chances, and I don't expect a good season from them this year. So I think USC will probably win this game. And then the final game of the season, this one's against Notre Dame. I did my Notre Dame prediction video yesterday. It is at home, which is why I could definitely see them winning this game. But Notre Dame is a very, very good team, and I could 100% see Notre Dame winning this game. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be a close game. I think I'm going to go with Notre Dame for this one. But I could see it going either way. So now, as I always do, I'll go through each game once again, and I will give a prediction for who I believe will win. Week 1 against Alabama, I think that's an Alabama win. I can't see USC winning. I think they'll beat New Mexico and Stanford. Two not too great football teams. Stanford will probably put up a challenge, I think, but I think those are 2 wins. I think they'll beat Arizona State. I think it'll be very close. I could see Arizona State winning this game, but I do believe at the end of the day, USC will be able to win this game. I think they'll beat Utah. I think it'll be close, but I think they will beat Utah. Against California. Originally, I actually had California winning this game, but last minute, I actually did change it to USC winning, so I do believe at this point in the season, they only have 1 loss. But I could see them having 3 losses at this point in the year. I think they'll beat Arizona. I think they have the bye. I think they'll beat Colorado, but then I think they'll lose to Oregon. I think they'll beat Washington and UCLA. And then I think they'll lose to Notre Dame to come out with a record of 9-3. I think this is a pretty good record for USC, and I think this is the safest bet for them. At best, I could see them, I think, 10-2, because maybe 11-1, maybe, but I can't see them going undefeated. I think they'll 100% lose to either Oregon or Alabama, and I think they'll probably lose to both. I think they would pretty much need a miracle if they want to beat one of them. But I could definitely see them beating Notre Dame, especially being at home. And Notre Dame, I think, having the worst roster of their losses. That I have them predicting 3 losses. I think Notre Dame has the worst roster of those 3 losses. I think worst case scenario, 5 losses. Against, of course, Alabama, Oregon, and Notre Dame, and then probably California and Arizona State. As I said, I originally had them losing California, but at the end I actually did change it. I really do believe California can be a good team this season, and I think they're going to be someone to look out for. But I think there is definitely potential with USC this season, and I think they're going to be a really, really fun team to watch. So that's what I think about USC. What do you guys think about USC? Tell me in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you're new around here, feel free to subscribe for more daily NFL college football content. It's what I do on this channel. It's all kinds of football, prediction videos, just talking about it. I do all that. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video.